This is Tim Hegarty with the VTC C++ Fundamentals. Let's talk about some friends. Friends are other functions that are allowed to operate on our class that we're defining, on our class's private and protected members. Because remember, we have public, private, and protected. And private and protected are not visible to the rest of the world in general, but public are. Now, we can, though, in a class say that this is a friend, so let them do what they need to do with private and protected members. A friend may be a method in another class, or it can just be a simple function out at global scope. Either way is fine. The friendship is declared in the class that's giving the friendship away, that is defining the friend, because that way it maintains control over who is a friend and who isn't. Let's take a look at a piece of code here. And here we have a class called point. And within this class, there's a public area. We're going to skip over the friend here for a second. There's a public point, which has a value. And then there's a method here that's a print private. And it's going to print out the value of this m sub I, or m underscore I, which is a little integer down here that's private. So nobody can get to that because it is private until we make a friend function up here. So here's a friend declaration. No return. This function called change private, it'll be given a point reference. This change private is allowed to do whatever it wants with the private members down here. Now here's the actual definition of change private. And when we're defining it in here, definition and declaration, it's an inline. And all we're going to do is increment the value. We'll just bump it up by 1, and that's that. So we come straight to the location, add 1 to it. Down here in main, here we make a new point. This is an S point. We say that sPoint.printPrivate. So we're going to find out what's in there. We're going to call change private, which we really should not be able to do. Only this friend declaration up here allows us to change that, and then we'll print private again. All right, pretty straightforward. Do a quick Control F5, and there's 0 and then 1. Not very impressive, but it does illustrate our point here that this, so to speak, this class point has allowed or created a friend which is able to get to this private member and do something with it. Now that breaks down some of our encapsulation concept. So you have to be careful who you define a friend and just what that friend is allowed to do. So that is the concept of defining a friend method in our encapsulation topics here.